If you play War Thunder, you definitely know that Russian tanks have terrible gun depression. Most of Russian tanks have an average gun depression of 5 degrees. But why is this? There are a few factors in play, but mainly the gun depression is limited by the size of the tank, at least in the turret. The turrets of these tanks are small compared to its gun because the tanks itself are small, so the size of the tank limit the size of the turret. But why did Russians make their tanks so small and compact? This is the T-54, T-55, T-62, T-64, T-72, T-80 and T-90. For a normal person, these tanks are hard to tell apart. If you want, you can check Red Wrench Films how to tell Soviet tanks apart. Anyway, these tanks all based from the T-54. The Russian liked the design of the T-54 so much that they kept using it till the T-90. The T-54 was designed by Alexander Morozov. The design was simple: a dome-cast turret, sloped upper front plate, big gun and 4 crew. Later in the T-64 the crew was reduced to 3 because it introduced an autoloader. The T-64 also introduced composite armor and a 125mm D-81 gun. These tanks were small because the Russians wanted mobility, but Russian did not have strong engines at the time, so they decided to reduce weight, which made the tanks small and have the required mobility and armor thickness. This limited the turret size, and the gun's breech had little room for movement for depression, as the breech would hit the roof. For elevation this wasn't a problem, as the breech would be dropping to the turret basket. It is these factors: the size of the tank, the size of the gun, the size of the breech and size of the turret, that limits gun depression in Russian tanks. The larger the caliber, larger the gun, larger the breech, and the 100mm, 115mm and the 125mm guns were big and had a big breech and turret. Of these tanks simply didn't have enough space for the movement, the breech. They could make the tank larger, but that would make it heavier and slower, so these drawbacks were accepted. Thank you for watching this video and have a good day.